Alsh, can I get you to mute your phone? All right, so if you just got in, could you just make sure that you get the that you're logged into Pico Capture the Flag and also TryHackMe. We're going to start off in TryHackMe. And I want you to add yourself once you're logged in to the I think it's called Simple Capture the Flag. So you just want to join this room. It's free. And when you get into the what's it called? When you get into the room, you're going to do two things. You're going to deploy the attack machine, and then you're going to also start the attack box. So if you are not, you're doing something, the attack box, you only get an hour to work on. So don't start it until you're ready to actually start the attack box. But you can deploy the victim machine right now.
Morning, Tanisha.
Good morning.
So are we in learn mode?
Yes, we are in learn mode. So we're going to go to TryHackMe and we're going to go into the simple CTF room, and you're going to want to deploy. It's a free account for TryHackMe. You're going to want to deploy the attack machine, and you're going to want to start the attack box, but don't start the attack box until you get ready to actually start, because if you don't have a paid subscription, it's only going to be up for an hour. So I want us to be able to get through, and I think we should be able to get through this in an hour. But the two things we're going to do are the TryHackMe Simple CTF and the Pico CTF. We're going to do some of these as well. So both of these are free accounts. So, sign up if you haven't already and then get logged in.
Where do you find a simple CTF on TryHackMe?
So if you go to the top into learn and you click on learn, and then you say all rooms, and then you could change this to free only and change this to CTFs, then it's going to be in this list here. So I already added it. So it's on my, it's not available here, but this is where you're going to find it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so are you all ready to go?
I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm ready.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Ready.
All right, so is anyone not ready to get started? All right, so go ahead and deploy your, start your attack machine. So what this is going to do is it's going to put your attack machine on the right-hand side of the window, and it's going to put your victim machine information on the left-hand side, okay? So the IP address on your machine is not going to be the same as mine. It's right here, okay? So if you just deployed your victim machine, it takes about a minute for this IP address to show up, but once it shows up, this is the machine that you're going to be capturing. So even though you might see me, typing in a command with this IP address, you want to use the IP address that's on your particular machine so that you can actually attack your box. Okay. So basically
one sec, because I just got in. I just was able to log into this. Now, what am I doing here? Because
okay. So once you're logged in, you want to go to the top where it says, give me 1 second. So see where it says learn. You're going to go to learn and then all rooms. And then you're going to switch this from, and I'm on TryHackMe. You want to switch this from all to free only. And you want to switch this to capture the flags. Okay. So simple capture the flag shows up in the all rooms. Okay. And then you can click on it and then it'll allow you to join the room. So I think I'm already joined. So it's not going to ask me, do I want to join? But that's what you need to do. Okay. So,
where the heck is
when
learn?
you get into the room, I'm sorry.
I'm looking for learn. I'm like, where's the learn at?
You don't, let's see.
Is it the guy? Wait, go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, I see it. All
okay.
right.
All right. So basically what a capture the flag is it's a set of tasks that you're asked to complete. Okay. So in this case, we're doing all of the attacks that we're doing are from our attack machine, which is over here on the right, to our victim machine. The IP address is over here on the left. So there's not an actual victim machine. You're just going to use this IP address to be able to access it. So it looks like mine failed to connect. So let me try to get it to come back. All right, so once you're in the attack machine over here, a couple of things that are going to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so this little tab right here allows you to pop it in and pop it out. This one right here is the one that you're going to need. It'll allow you to copy information from this left side or from your home computer over into the attack terminals if you need to paste something. Okay, so you're going to put it into the clipboard. So in this case, copy your IP address to the clipboard, paste it here, and then it'll allow you to use it over here. So we're going to launch the terminal. And if you were to right click and paste, it'll type the IP address. So if you just try to copy directly from here to here, it's going to act like you never even said anything to it. Okay, so is everybody with me on that?
Could you repeat how to pop out the attack machine?
Yeah, so there is a little tab here, little button, looks like some buttons. So if you click on here, or are you talking about how to get this attack machine over here?
Yeah, over there.
Okay, so to get the attack machine over here, there will be a button up here that says attack or launch attack machine. I already have it launched, so it's not up here, but the button is at the top of the screen on the right-hand side. It says start attack machine. I think it's green. But when you do that, it launches this desktop over here. So if you're used to using Kali, you're used to probably normally having your like a little floating menu bar over here. That's just going to be on the right-hand side. So if you need to go back to a terminal or something that you've left, it's over here on the right. Okay. What I would also suggest is that if you need there's extra keys here if you need to do something. And the other thing I would suggest is that you maybe get up a a notepad so that if you want to take notes. So one of the things that I did not do extremely well when I first started doing these things is taking good notes. And especially when you get to like higher level things such as like an OSCP, where you're going to have to write a report, you want to make sure that you have all of the information that you need for the report. So I just want you to get into the habit of taking good notes now, so that you can remember, because like you'll say, hey, what was that command that I was supposed to do? If you wrote it down in your note, I have like a specific lab notebook. So if you write it down in your lab notebook, then the next time you need that skill or that command, until you commit it to memory, then you can, have it for, to help you remember. All right, so is everybody ready to get started?
My machine is still deploying.
It's still booting over here?
Yeah.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
How do you get to the simple CTF?
All right, so you want to come to the top, the dashboard,
All right.
and then you're going to click Learn, and then you're going to go to All Rooms and change this from All to Free Only, and this from All to CTF. And then it will show you simple CTF down here in the
Okay.
yeah. So then you're just going to say join the room, and then when you join the room, it'll show up on your dashboard, and then you could just click on it. And as you can see, for the most part, it'll keep your state if you leave. So that's good. So in case you get distracted and go do something else. So let me know when you guys are ready, please.
I'm ready.
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 Ready?
All set.
All right, cool. So it sounds like everyone is ready. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to copy your IP address for your victim machine. Victim machine's on the left, attack machine's on the right. Copy the IP address from your victim machine. You're going to put it into the clipboard, which is this middle guy here. And then it'll make it available. You can collapse the clipboard back in, and then it'll make it available over here. So the first set of questions is asking you as far as how many services are running under port 1000, what is running on the higher port. You want to get into the practice of when you start anything, whether it's a capture the flag or a ethical hacking engagement. One of the first things you want to do is you want to scan the machine. This is one of the first steps. So we're not actually doing any footprinting because we have the IP address that we know that is the subject of our attack. So the next step is to do the scanning. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say nmap, and this is a network mapper. And you're going to say nmap, and then we're going to say -A, okay? Now, -A is just one of the flags. -A says, give me everything. So the downside of using -A is that it takes a little bit of time, but it gives you a lot of information, such as the ports that are open, the services that are running on those machines. It'll give you a trace route. It'll give you operating system information. It basically gives you everything. So until you learn the different types of scans and the different flags that you can use for nmap, you can just say a -A and then the IP address. So we just copied the IP address, so you can just right click and paste it.
I don't see where you said active machine information. I don't see that on mine.
Okay, so did you click deploy?
I do. It's deployed, but it's not.
So, do you want to share your screen?
Sure.
Give me a second. All right, now you can share. Go ahead. All right, so on the left-hand side, could you scroll down a little bit? All right, so click deploy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
Okay. So you're going to have to wait a minute, but when a minute 15. So when it's done, you can get your IP address. Okay. So just let me know when you get to that point, and I'll tell you how to catch up. Okay.
All right.
All right. So we're going to say nmap-a. This is going to give us basically all of the things for our attack machine. And then you can just go ahead and press enter. Okay. So that'll kick off an nmap scan, and it will give you a lot of information. So if you want to, you can increase the size of this terminal because it's going to give you a lot of information, and it's going to exceed the size of the terminal window. So I just want you to see everything as it comes up. Okay, so it's asking us, number one, how many services are running under port 1000? So when your nmap completes, if you could raise your hand and let me know that you.
All right, my it's deployed. I got the IP address. I just put that into a clipboard.
Yes, you put that in the clipboard, and which is here. And then you're going to say nmap and then the IP address. So for this, it's not that serious, but you should just know how to use the clipboard because, we'll have some things that are bigger in size than the clipboard. And I'm looking for hands up. It looks like I have 6 so far.
Should I go through the whole nmap thing now?
You should.
All right.
Okay, mine started in mapping.
So for the folks who are have their nmaps have completed, what you're going to be looking for is several things. So the first thing you're going to see here in this nmap scan is that we have a port 21 open on the victim machine. So port 21 is FTP, which you can see here says open FTP service, and it specifically says that there's a VS FTP service that's running on here. Okay, so some of the things that you want to be on the lookout for is that it says, for example, FTP login is allowed, and any information about that specifically. Okay, so let me see why okay. All right, so other ports that we see that are on here that are open is port 80, which is HTTP. There's an Apache server on here, version 2.4.18. And then we've got port 2222 open, which is an open SSH. And it's got version says 7.2 P2. Which is Ubuntu. Okay, so this is all the information that it gives you. It also says that it's making a guess. Whenever you do scanning is basically just a guess based on the information that is provided. So it tells us there's a good possibility that this is a Linux 3.13 machine. Okay, and then it gives you trace route information. So like I said, when we do the -A, it gives us all of the information that you can get from an nmap scan without including like vulnerability information, for example. All right, so the first one it says is how many services are running under port 1000. So we have 21 and 80 and 2222. So those 2 are under port 1000. So we'll say 2. And then you submit. And then if it likes your answer, it'll say whoop whoop here on the right.
So how did where do you see port 1000 on the terminal side to know that there were 2 services running under it?
Oh, so there's port 21 right here. There's port 80, which is behind this little button here, and then there's port 2222. So those are the 3 services that are on this machine, on this victim machine.
Okay, you said 21, 80, and 2222. Oh, I see what you. Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You guys with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So next up, it says what is running on the higher port. Okay. So on the higher port, which is 2222, it's running SSH. Okay. So the answer we can see is 3 letters long because there's 3 stars here. TryHackMe is good for that. I would say put in here SSH. And it will tell us whether or not we are correct. Yes. Okay. So it says, what CVE are you using against the application? Okay. So in here, it doesn't show us any CVE information. Okay. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to figure out what vulnerability. So what we're going to do is go to exploit database. So in your web browser, so we'll say exploit. And I think it's .com. Let me see. Yes. All right. So we're going to go to exploitdatabase.com, and then we're going to put in the versions of, so it doesn't tell us what specific CVE. So let's just see if there's any vulnerabilities against this VSFTP. And someone said something in the chat.
What was the name of that site again?
Exploit database.
It's, yeah, exploit-db.com. Okay, and we're going to put in there VSFTPD 3.03. Okay, so again, you want to copy this. And my computer is really lagging right now. But you want to copy this, you want to put it on the clipboard. Okay, and then once you put it on the clipboard, then you'll be able to paste it over here and see. 3.03.
All right, I lost you. 1 second. So when we go to that site, we're looking at exploitdatabase.com. We're looking at what exactly?
So when you go to exploitdatabase.com, you're just given this thing here, this screen here, and you're just going to put in the search machine, into the search box, the application that's available on this first port.
I got you. Okay.
So then you want to just press enter, and we're going to see if there are any exploits that are. All right, so they have a lot of VSFTP exploits that are on here, but none of them are for the version that we are using. Okay, so that's probably not what we're going to look for. All right, so the next one that's up here is Apache version 2.4.18. So we'll check that. And I don't see anything. So let's just put in Apache to see if they have anything that might scan a range. So 2.4.
I guess what I was asking was you had copied something over to your clipboard, but like what was that all about?
Oh, so what I copied to the clipboard is the service that's running and the version. Okay, so this is basically your banner information. Okay, so this is the VSFTP. These are the applications that are running on these specific ports on this machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to see if there are specific vulnerabilities that are for this machine, because it says, what's the CVE you're using against the application? So the CVE is a common vulnerability. So you get that information from off of the exploit database. So once you figure out what it is that we're exploiting, then we'll figure out what the CVE is against that we can use. All right, so I don't see anything in here for the Apache. So the third service that we have on here is OpenSSH 7.2 P2. So let's try that. So they've got some exploits in here for SSH 7.2 P2 is what we're looking for. All right, so they've got some username enumeration. So let's see if this is associated with a CVE. So it is. So let's see if this is what they're looking for. Oh, your answer's not right. And there's no hint. So we will come. So we kind of need to know what the exploit is in order, the CVE is. Let's see. Okay, so I think it's -- script. Let's see. Let's see if that's right.
Hey, while this is running on your script, MAP is searching for all those default scripts. You can also try the command line interface on the TryHackMe attack box. You can try running the search exploit for that known service.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, and this is version 7.2 P2. So it has the username enumeration. What else? Not still running. Okay, so I don't see anything specific on there. Let me try the FTP, because I feel like that should be. All right, let me just cancel that. So the FTP was version VS FTP version. I don't know why my screen's being, can someone paste to me what the copy, the version of VSFTP was? Oh, 3.03. Thank you. And it says that there are no exploits for that. All right, so let's take a look at the application on the browser to see if we see anything from there, because I feel like they should have given us some more information towards. So we're going to put in the IP address for the server into the web browser whenever it decides to come up. All right, so we've got a Ubuntu default page.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sorry.
All right, so we've got the Ubuntu default page. Let's see what else tells us on here. All right, so let's do, let's use Dirtbuster. Give me a second to see what's on here. What's, all right, so what we're going to do is, what we want to do is we want to find out all of the, let me clear this. We want to find out all of the different paths that are available on this particular website. So we're going to use a command line tool. It's called Dirtbuster. I'm sorry, GoBuster. So dir-u, and then it's going to be 10.10.247.130 for me. And see, required flags not set. So let's say, what is this? Is it? Let's try that. Okay, so what this tells us is that there is an HT password, there's an HTA, a robots file, a server status is simple. So let's take a look at some of these hidden directories and see what we can find out. So we want to go back to the, don't know why my computer is moving so slow. You want to go back to the web browser and you want to put in, so let's look at the robots.txt because robots.txt usually tells you what it is that they don't want you looking at. So we'll start looking at that. So it's actually 10, whatever your IP address is, and then /robots text. All right, so what this says is to disallow root. So it's not giving us any information. All right, so let's check one of the other things that came back to us. So let's see simple, because this is actually called the simple CTF, I think, or easy CTF. Let's try that one. All right, so simple, it tells us CMS made simple. So it looks like there's some, this is a content management system. All right, so let's see CMS made simple. Let's put this into search plate and see if we can find anything. So I haven't done this room before or this box. So this is, pretty much, I guess, kind of the fumbling around that you're going to be doing when you come in, because you don't know exactly what it is to do. There's a general process, but it doesn't always, work in your favor. So we're going to say search exploit. We're going to say, this is called simple. Now, what does it say? CMS made simple. All right, so there are a bunch of things in here for CMS made simple. So let me see. So let's see what we have: a file upload, cross-site, remote, SQL injection. Let's see. Let me check exploit database also. So we're going to say CMS made simple. And ideally, we want something that will allow us, because we don't have any authentication information. So ideally, we want something unauthenticated for CMS made simple. So here is a let me check page 2.
Kanisha,
Yeah.
I clicked on the SQL injection.
You click on SQL injection, this one?
Yeah. And this has the CVE. So I just pull the CVE information, CVE 2019. Yeah.
Okay. Into the box and see if that's what it's looking for. Oh, okay. That works. All right. So we're going to try to do a SQL injection. All right, so thank you, Krishna. To what kind of vulnerability is the application vulnerable? So we'll look back here. I'm sure. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to know, how did you get to that logic of deciding that it was a SQL injection?
So for what I would do is I would, like I said, I would look for something that's not difficult. So like, web attacks, since this is a web system, I would look for, me personally, I would look for SQL injection. I would look for anything that's authenticated, that's in this system. And we don't have what version of the software that it's using.
I saw that it was 2.2.8 on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, when you scroll down.
So 2.2.8 would definitely put it in here as well, because this is versions less than 2.2.10. So I probably would have looked at this too. But like I said, for me, what I look for is I look for web attacks, and I'll look for things that are, like not difficult. Like if it's saying like a DDoS, I'm not going to go through all of that trouble. Like I might do like a remote code execution, but I want something that is downloadable, and that it might have a CVE. So, but I was just looking for something unauthenticated. But this would have been my next step for SQL injection. But sometimes you may just have to click around until you find something that looks like it might work. A lot of this is trial and error. And unless you go, like, for example, to check out like a write-up for it because it's already been done, I think that the learning in this is got from trying to figure out what it is that it's looking for. Because I mean, realistically, if this was like out in the wild, like if you just got a box like this, it probably wouldn't have like a hint or a walkthrough or any of that information. So you'd have to try to figure it out. So I would just be clicking on things until I saw one that had a CVE. So Krishna, did you do something, I guess, different to land on that one?
Same thing. Yeah, trial and error. I tried a couple of them. Then I looked for the version, and it said the less than value. So that worked fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So also, if you look on this, on our output from SimpleSploit, this fourth from the bottom also says SQL injection for version 2.2 less than 2.10. So, if once we figured out what the version is, and I think someone said that they saw that somewhere, you can use that to figure it out. That would help us to get towards the bottom of the list, which is the higher level versions. Okay. So does that answer your question? I didn't look to see who.
Yeah, no, that was Slammer. That was great.
Okay, cool. All right, so next it says, what kind of vulnerability is the application vulnerable to? So this is a SQL injection, and it's a web app. Let's see. You can use to crack the password. Oh, that's not a hint for this question. To what kind of vulnerability is this application vulnerable? So let's look at the exploit database and the SQL injection. And let's see. So it looks like it's saying that it's vulnerable to a URL vulnerability. So let's see if we can put this in here and see if that works. Yeah, can I get whoever has their speaker on Someone is listening to some music. All right, so there's nothing there. Okay, so let's go into where the exploit is. Let's see. I don't know why this is freezing. All right, it's not letting me get my. Yeah, it's not letting me get my my window back open. Okay, so this is not working for me. So let's pivot over to the thing, and then I'll try to see it work this out. We can try to work on this at the beginning of next time, because I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time trying to figure out why this attack machine is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. All right, so let's pivot over to the Pico capture the flag and take a look at some of these. And then we'll continue with the TryHackMe next time when I can get this to cooperate with me. All right, so are you guys in Pico capture the flag? Need a couple minutes to log in?
Yeah, I'm signing up right now.
I'm in.
In 1 second.
All right, so just a quick overview. So Pico Capture the Flag is basically a gym that's set up by Carnegie Mellon University that has like previous years Capture the Flag competitions. So it's set up basically kind of the same way like the National Cyber League gym is set up, where you get like some activities that you can do that are in different topics that can help you to get ready for an actual capture the flag. So in this particular gym, they have web exploitation categories. They have cryptography, reverse engineering, forensics, general skills, and binary exploitation. Okay, so what we're going to do, just as far as approach, is I'll show you, a couple of these, but I'm going to focus on some of the, I guess, easier ones so that you guys could get a feel for the types, because, some of these are very easy and you'll see those have, like 50 or 100 points. And then some of them get to be very hard and you'll start to see that some of those have, 500 points. Okay. So at the top right hand of the corner, it'll keep track of your gem score. As you go to accumulate points, then you can do that. So there's an equivalent in Capture the Flag. In TryHackMe. So like at the bottom of the screen, when you're on the dashboard, it actually tells you, what level you are, how many points you've accumulated. So as you answer questions, you get higher up into the level until you eventually, beat the room, and then it'll give you a certificate saying, hey, that you've beat the room. So for this one, you just accumulate points. And then, when you have when they do an actual capture the flag competition, and I think the last one they had was in 19, or they had a mini competition last year in 20. But when they do the actual competitions, the CTF is actually set up much in the same way that this one is. Okay, so are you guys ready? I see some hands raised.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll get started. So the first one that we're going to look at is the numbers. All right. So this is a cryptography challenge and it's 50 points. So we can assume that it's probably going to be easy, right? So it says the numbers. What do they mean? So we'll click on this and then it downloads a picture. So we'll open up the picture. So the picture actually just gives you a bunch of numbers. Okay. So if this was a higher level challenge, I would start to look into maybe there's different layers in here, but because this is an easy cryptography, I'm just going to assume that we're going to do some type of numbers letter substitution. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these numbers into a number to letter, because all of these letters again are less than 26. So that tells me that this is probably just a number to letter conversion. So you can pull up this and you can start putting these numbers in here. So in this case, it's 16, 9, 3, 15, 3, 20, and 6. And we're going to put those in here. So I'm going to just snap this so I can put these into the numbers to letter. Started doing this so I can see, make sure that I had the right information. I can't tell if that's a 2, 5, or let's say 2, 5, 18, 19, 13, 1, 19, 15, 14. Oh, and the other thing that you should be aware of is that on Pico Capture the Flag, the flags are in the form PicoCTF and then a curly bracket. Okay, so this says PicoCTF and then it says, let's see, 16, 9, 3, 15, 3, 26, and then 20, 8, 5, 14. It says the numbers Mason. Let's see, 28, 5, 14, 21, 13, 2, 5, 18, 19, 13. So maybe those 2 and 5 seems away from each other to me. So let's try that. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's remove these. The numbers Mason. So let's try that and see if it works. So the flag is in the form PICO CTF and then the curly brackets, and then we're going to say the numbers Mason and then in curly brackets, and then we'll submit and see if that works. That is not correct. Let me see if I did this wrong. Six and then 20, 8, 5, 14, 21, 13, 2, 5, 18, 19, 13, 1, 19, 15, 14. So let me just put this piece in. The numbers Mason. Do you young folks with good eyes see these numbers differently?
No.
I see it the same.
19, 15, 14. The numbers Mason. Pico capture the flag. Oh, maybe. I feel like this shouldn't matter. The flag is incorrect. Hint. PicoCTF.
Are those curly brackets or are they parentheses?
Oh, on my screen?
Yeah, on your screen, I can't see. Oh.
I think they're curly brackets. It says it should be, yeah, PicoCTF. The numbers Mason. Okay, we'll just go on to the next one. I'll come back to that. All right, let's go to this one. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I put capital letters like PicoCTF, the numbers Mason. It worked.
Ah, okay. So he's saying that this should all be capitalized.
I just tried the capital letters. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so yes, that worked. Thank you, Krishna. All right, cool. So we'll move on to the next one, which is a Caesar cipher. So it says decrypt the message. So it gives us the ciphertext. And I'm just going to open this with Notepad. And it gives us a Caesar cipher. So we're going to take this and we're going to put it into a Caesar cipher. And I'm just going to pick one. Decrypt. Oh, wait. Decrypt. All right, let me try a different one. Oh, so Caesar cipher. Auto solve without key. Crossing the Rubicon. That doesn't make any sense. Let's see if there's a hint. It doesn't tell us what the but it specifically said that it was a Caesar cipher, I think. Brute force. Oh, okay. I like that. That seems like a good idea. All right, so crossing the Rubicon. Oh, okay. So this is the only thing that looks like it could be in English. So let's try that. Let's try it all in caps. Right.
Press, Tanisha, you could just press in Word. I think you press the A next to 11 to make it all uppercase. One of those, or there should be like a drop down to make them all uppercase. It's one of those. The A in the lowercase, I think is that one.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, that is incorrect.
Tanisha, PicoCTF. PicoCTF. You're almost there. Okay. This time I didn't do capitals. I just copied and pasted it. PicoCTF crossing the Rubicon. It worked. Yeah.
Okay, so let's try that.
Yeah. Oops. Oh, PICO in lower letters.
Oh, all this in lower letters too?
Not everything, just only PICO. PICO, then capital CTF. Here we go.
Okay. So again, as you can see, like last time it was all uppercase. This time it was like a mixed case. There's no way for you to know that because it's not, telling you. So, again, you'd have to try to, trial and error to try to figure it out. Okay, so let's see if we can do like a general skills one. Let's say see a grip. That seems reasonable. It says, can you find the file? So it gave us the file and it is scanning it. Oh, so this is a grip exercise. So maybe I should download this into my, let's do some, oh, well, either way, I think I'm going to need Kali. Do you guys have Kali?
I do.
I don't.
No, some of you don't. Okay, so we'll try to do some that don't have, and then next time we can get you set up. So there's a new lab, new year, new lab next Thursday. So if you guys want to come there and just even if you just set up the Kali, that would be good because strings, and I can actually just show you what this looks like. And then once you get it installed, then you can good to go. Let's see. All right, so org maybe. All right. So I think we were in general skills, and I'm just going to download the file. I think it was first grip. So it's called file. So we're just going to say cat file just to see what's in there. And there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. So we're specifically looking for a flag, and we know that the flag starts with Pico. So we're going to just say grep file, and we're going to look for what is it called? Pico. Is it grep Pico file? Okay, so it tells us grep is good to find things. So it looked through the file, and this is the flag, hopefully. So we will put this in to here and paste, and hopefully I have solved it correctly again. Oh, okay, I see. I logged in. Let's see. I tried this on my personal account, and then I came back in with the wrong account. So, all right, strings. All right, so it says, can you find the flag in this file without running it? So we're just going to download it and say save. So it gives us strings. So if you say strings, so strings is a program that will give you information about the file. So we're going to say strings on strings, and it'll give us a whole bunch of information about the file. So if you scroll up, what we're looking for specifically is a PicoCTF flag. So obviously, like, eyeballing this is not going to be easy because there's a lot of stuff in here. So we're just going to combine the two things. So we're going to say strings, and we're going to say specifically look for Pico. So it tells us that this is the flag. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, can you just
yes.
Can you say again?
I'm sorry.
Can you just repeat again what strings is?
Okay, sure. So strings actually gives you the information for the file itself. So I think that it specifically just lists all of the things. Let me give you tell you the exact. It returns each string of printable characters in the file. So these are all printable characters in a file, but you also see like there's some spacing in here, and I think that was our flag just now. Oh no, okay. But you see a whole bunch of information in here, but it's not reasonable. They don't actually expect you to, go through a file and look at each thing in the file, right? So that's why we use grep. So what this says is this combines two different activities, this pipe here. Okay, so it says, I want you to perform the strings command, which says, tell me all of the printable characters in the file on the strings file, okay? And then it says, I want you to look in that file and find the word Pico, okay? So if we were to say file strings, so file tells you what type of file it is. File tells you what type of file it is. Okay, so in this case, this is a 64-bit LSB shared object. So that tells you what to do. We saw a little bit of this in the Friday Night Labs yesterday when we were doing like the Russian doll thing where you had to unzip the file and unzip the file and unzip the file. So use strings to use file to figure out what type of file it is. Okay, so that's how you find the flag in this particular activity. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay, all right. So let's see. What's a netcat? Let's see. All right, so it says, hey, using netcat in C is going to be pretty important. Can you connect to this thing on port 64287? Okay, so netcat is a way. So what I typically use it for is to set up a connection to, like, if I want to try to hear back to make sure that an exploit that I've worked has, that I've used has worked, I will use netcat to set up a listener so that, if the computer reaches back to my attack machine, then it'll tell me what information I have. But you can also use it how we're about to. So we're going to just say nc and then jupyter.challenges.picocapturetheflag.org. and we're going to say port 64287. So it says, hey, you're on your way to becoming the Netcat master, and then it gives you the flag. Okay, so there are a couple of, what is it called? There's a couple of Netcat type related activities. So you can see like, hey, this is grep, this is Netcat, this is strings. You can see some of these different exercises. Let's see, and this one says, let's warm up. So basically this says, hey, what is 0.3D in base 16, okay? So we talked about the different types of a coding the other day in the CEH study group. So what you would basically do for this is pull up a base 16 to base 10, let's say base 16 to decimal converter. So and like when you're doing, like literally when I'm doing capture the flag, so when I'm doing like these types of things, like if I'm trying to break into boxes on Hack the Box or whatever, what I'll typically have is either a, what is this thing called? A notepad, or I'll have sticky notes over here to the side so that I can copy and paste things, because you know, you're doing a lot of Googling when you're doing these types of capture the flags. There's no way for you to really know what it is that you are looking for until you actually get into the capture the flag. So like it's not uncommon, like if you're doing a capture the flag, for you to probably have 1,000 browsers open, because the other thing is you don't know if you're going to have to come back and need that again. So like if you are an organized person, like I know Tasha's very organized, you want to make sure that you you know, maybe set up some things in your browser to save them so that you don't have to come back, because like every time I do an exercise like this, I have to go back and find a new you know, which one I like that makes sense to me, that's intuitive. So just to make your life easier, if you take notes and then you know, try to organize where you're getting your information from, it'll help. So in this case, 0-3D turns into 61. So you can put Pico 60, what is it called? Pico capture the flag, and then 61. And hopefully this will work. Yes, okay. All right, so does anybody have any questions on any of that? So I think base is set up the same thing. To get truly elite, you must understand different encodings. Can you get this flag from this program? And you're on your way. So let's try this one. So then it says, give this as a word. So in this case, you've got 45 seconds, right? So of course I didn't get it done quickly enough, but if this was an actual thing, you'd want to make sure that you are ready to go. So binary decoder. So we're going to put this in here. Oh, sorry. And there's no telling that it's going to give me the same challenge again. So you can press the up arrow to do the same command and press enter. And then you have, so in this case, it's longer. So I might not get it in time. Container. So see, there's a series of different challenges. So you'd have to go through each one of these challenges, and you've got 45 seconds. So then you want to turn this into a word as well. So you'd have to go through each one of these challenges in order to complete the task. And part of this is figuring out what this means, right? So let's just do a search and say, it's definitely not binary. So let's say octal. Let's see if octal works. Okay, so it says I was too slow, but this was socket. Okay, so again, like for this particular challenge, you have to, one, identify what type of thing it is. So I can look at this and just tell off of the break that this is binary. So it says you have 45 seconds. So you put that into a binary decoder, and then they want you to have an octal decoder. Okay. So, and there's no, I think I did this before, but there's no way to know what the next thing is going to be. So you just kind of like got to roll with the punches and be quick enough. Okay. So, and I think that the based 200, yeah, I already answered that because it's grayed out. So, and then as you get higher, the higher numbers, and I couldn't figure out any of the three of these when I was looking at this the first time around, but you can do different categories of exercises. Okay, so any questions?
No.
No? Okay. All right. So I'm going to end it here because I am starving. But basically, like, you know, these are definitely two platforms that you can use, the Pico Capture the Flag and the TryHackMe, to, you know, try to work on challenges for Capture the Flag. I think I'll show you guys also what National Cyber League looks like next week. So that you can see, and also if you're in the Black Girls Hack Slack, we're doing a National Cyber League walkthrough. I think it's tomorrow at some point, maybe it's at 4 p.m. So if you're interested in doing the National Cyber League this year, Black Girls Hack is sponsoring a team. So we'll have 7 people who are in school, and we're going to pay for you to participate in the National Cyber League, and it's open to anyone who's in high school, college, or graduate school. So we will go through the practice in the gyms and we'll participate. And I think it pretty much lasts over the course of between the gym that's set up kind of like this, and then the actual exercises. Each of the exercises, I think, is 24 to 48 hours. But we'll go through that process, I think, between February and maybe April, every now and again. It's not like everyday thing. But you can definitely play around in Pico Gym, and then I will figure out what we need for the TryHackMe box so that we can finish that one. All right, so any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
For the TryHackMe, do you need to sign up for like a membership to use it more than once?
Oh, no. So I think that you only get the box for, let me find. I think you get the box for an hour. So if you do not have a subscription, so I've got a subscription so I can come back in here and do the attack boxes. But if you don't have a subscription, you can deploy the machine for as long as you want to. So like this machine over here on the left, you can deploy for, you know, let's say 2 hours, and then you could just keep adding hours to it. Okay. But this thing over here on the right, you only get for an hour, and I think it's an hour a day. Okay. So the workaround for that is to use Kali. So if you're in Cali and they have for TryHackMe, I think it's a VPN, so that you can connect to their network to be able to see these, okay? Because 10.10 is not a public IP address, okay? So what you're going to want to do is to download the VPN file within your Kali and then deploy it. And I think it's OpenVPN that they use. They have like a VPN file that you can use on the command line. And then you can spend more time doing these boxes. But like I said, this attack box on the right, it would have expired already. But I have the monthly subscription for TryHackMe. Okay, so you can, like I said, you can do an hour on the attack box that they offer over here. And then outside of that, you're going to have to download the VPN file and the, what's it called? The VPN file into your Kali machine. And then you can do the attacks, the same scans, the same everything in your Kali machine for this network. So does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? No? All right. So next week, like I said, we will work on the rest of these, these last 7 questions. I will take a look at what the vulnerability is. I for some reason, I thought that, we could just hop in here like the event of cyber ones. I could just hop in and, be able to get through these. But like, they don't have as much information in here. They're like, there's even no hints for any of these. So to help direct you in the right direction. So I will be better prepared next week, but you guys in the meantime can, go through these. General skills ones are typically just Linux command line things. The cryptography you can mostly do either on the command line or the through a decoder online cipher somewhere. So at those you can, I think, pretty much get started with just look at it and see if you understand what it is that it's asking. I think the hardest part for these capture the flag type environments is trying to figure out like what is it talking about. All right, so if there's no more questions, I will see you guys in the Slack channel and online.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.